Woo! Ric Flair woo. Guess what, Maury?
What, baby?
It's me, the Dumpster Boy. And they finally let me take the reins of Spotlight Games. Welcome back. It's episode 170, and it took 170 episodes for Patrick to finally say, enough's enough. The Dumpster Boy is allowed to party. They let me be in charge. And guess what? We got a fucking jam-packed episode today. I'm very excited. You want to know what we're talking about? Let me tell you what we're talking about. This is Spotlight Games Podcast, episode 170. Today, Kojima released another game, and gasp, people love it. More layoffs are hitting the industry. THQ Nordic is dropping a showcase. Taco Bell is bringing more than just a hot colon cleanse to gamers, and much, much more. It's me, it's the Dumpster Boy, and Offensive is the name of the game, and we play it strong here. I'm introducing my lovely colleague, the most beautiful man, one of the most beautiful men in the industry, GWTMori, or as I like to call him, a granny worth tonguing. Maury, how you doing today, baby?
Dog, I'm better now that I know I'm the granny worth tonguing, bro. The energy that you bring is like immaculate. I don't even. I'm blown away every time. Like I feel like I get like pushed back in my seat. Like I feel like I'm going 200 miles an hour down the fucking freeway, and I got Cayman in the fucking driver's seat. It's a good time.
Some might say it's a good time. Some might say it's going to be a really bad time.
Sure.
And the hope is that this ends up playing to our favor. The hope is that it plays into our favor. I don't know. Some people might be concerned about having the Dumpster Boy lead one of these. It's rare that I'm actually allowed to do that.
Bro, I was just about to say, like, ever since Patrick has, stepped away here and there, like, dude, he's just letting anyone run the show now. Between you and me,
Right.
bro, holy shit,
Right.
bro. He let me host like 2 weeks ago. That was a crazy decision. Like, I actually almost buried the show. I don't know if you heard the inside baseball, but you're doing infinitely, bro, you're doing infinitely better than I was. I'm sitting there, Jake's booting up the video, and he's like, get ready. And he looks at me like and nods his head. And I start doing the spiel, like the fucking intro. And he just starts hysterically laughing at me as the video comes on because I didn't even realize that there was a fucking video. And I've been on the show for 10 episodes with the fucking video. I just started going, welcome to Spotlight Games. He just starts dying fucking laughing. It cuts to the video. And I'm just like so fucking embarrassed. Like,
I love it.
10 out of 10 experience. I fucked it up.
Maury, the more that I feel like we podcast together, the more that I feel like we do things together, the more I feel like that you are coming into your own. You've built up a personality worth having here, and I'm just excited to have you. And let me tell you who else I'm excited to have here tonight, Maury. We got Eula in the chat. We got Heroic Headgear in the chat. We got Coal Mines. We don't really want Coal Mines, but we got Coal Mines in the chat. Rabbit, my Space Marine brother, in the chat. Cirrus Shard in the chat. Where's P-Schwag? Probably dead right now.
Maybe.
He likes to make jokes that I'm dead on most episodes because my attendance is spotty to say the least. But we're here, and we have a whole lot of video game stuff to talk about because this is the Spotlight Games podcast where each week we spotlight the greatest and the latest in the video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Spotlight Games Pod. So be sure to follow us there so that you are notified when we go live. No Spotlight stream this week for games at least. So Patrick, Rose, and as we probably all know, Patrick is going through some hardships in life. Apparently the universe fucking hates him. So we're kind of substituting that in. Maury has been gracing the airwaves, and hopefully you'll grace them some more this week, playing some Death Stranding 2, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Jake is doing Jake Twitching, I'm not involved with this. Jake is doing a very special jamboree where for the first time ever, he is whoring himself out to his audience. If you give him enough money, he'll probably show hole on stream. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
He's in the need of a new computer. And so he's running a very special jamboree. So I want to give him a shout out. JK Games taking a little bit of a hiatus as they're kind of retooling after Clicker Bait. But I will tell you right now, I know the secret sauce of what's happening behind the scenes. And I can tell you, everyone in the audience needs to get hyped up for that. The Dumpster Boy is the Dumpster Boy. So you never know when you're going to see a stream or videos drop, but they'll come when they come. Actually been doing a lot of work for Dido, getting some reviews out for the chat. So we got some up today. If you want to go to YouTube or socials, you'll find a rematch video that I was so lucky to have posted. And finally, join the Dido Discord. We have a Discord for all walks of the drop in, drop out community, whether it's Spotlight Games, Jake Games, Clickbait, Cognitive Clips, Jake Twitchin, and our very own me, and sometimes GWT, the Granny Worth Tonguing, Mori. The Discord is popping, and you should go. Go to dropindropout.com to find out, and all the different places we're bringing to you that sweet, sweet, sweet content that you love and crave so much. That was a mouthful.
Dude, you were 10 for 10. You got everyone fucking perfectly. If anyone had handed me a script that long, I would have had a stroke on my episode. Definitively. Wow.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We're playing a game tonight, Maury. It's a game that I like to play often, which is let's see how long until that Eddie hits. So buckle up. It's time to fucking party. And we're gonna do like we do what we do on every one of these episodes, which is do a little bit of what we're playing. And I know I just talked for a long time, and the audience probably wants to hear more from Maury than they do from me, but I'm sorry to say that you're going to have to listen to me talk for just a little bit longer, because I want to start off by talking to you about a dumpster dive that I have been playing. And you're going to say, when I say this next game, someone's going to scoff. Someone on YouTube is going to leave a nasty comment.
Wow.
And we're never going to post this to social media until I do a video, most likely that'll pop up where I will have someone tell me that I'm wrong for this. Let me tell you about a little game that came out a couple years ago.
Okay.
Called Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Wow.
And I know what you're saying. Cayman, that can't be a dumpster. That's a AAA game. Let me tell you right now, you can pick that game up on sale, and it's on sale a lot, for under $10. And let me tell you, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Maury, have you ever played Immortals Phoenix Rising?
No, but I watched a lot of the dialogue around it when it originally came out, and people were saying it was like Breath of the Wild light. And like,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds pretty fucking good to me. I didn't see what all the hate was for.
Yep. It's a big open world Ubisoft game. And I think that's where the hate comes in specifically, is it being a Ubisoft game. And that's a bummer, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, like it is kind of annoying. Like the go here, do everything, all that. But I gotta say, like, I feel like Immortals Phoenix Rising is I'm just gonna start calling it Immortals going forward because it's a long title, mouthful. And I like my mouthful of other things than words, if you know what I'm talking about. Hot dogs, baby. Hot dogs. It's Breath of the Wild light. I don't think it's as jam-packed full of like the entire map is littered with bullshit. It does feel a little bit more restrained, which I do appreciate. And honestly, the game's just really fucking witty. You play as this character named Phoenix, and the whole story is being narrated to you by Prometheus and Zeus, who are hanging out on top of a mountain. If you know anything about Prometheus, he's gutted and he's crows pecking at his liver for eternity. Yeah. And so Zeus comes up and Prometheus is telling him a story essentially about how Zeus is a bad dad. And it's a lot of like Zeus having to like recognize, done very comedically, about like how he's a shitty father and like how he's ruined his kids' lives and like all of the problems are really Zeus's. It's a very interesting game. About 25 hours in. I'm really enjoying it. I think I slept on it when it first came out. I picked it up for like $7 on sale.
Damn.
And honestly, man, I genuinely walked away from it feeling like this is one of those hidden gems that I think if you pick it up for $10, pop it in, give it a college try. I think you're going to find some enjoyment, especially if you want some more of that. Like you can do whatever you want from pretty much the beginning. Once you're done with the tutorial, you can pretty much go tackle whatever you want in whatever order, and the game plays to that strength. So I do like it. I do think it's a lot of fun. I think for me personally, I say give it a shot, especially when you get it on sale. Give it a shot. And it's always on sale. Believe me, it's always on sale. So yeah, Immortals Phoenix Rising is the first game that I've been playing. And Maury, I'm going to shut the fuck up for a second.
What? Well, let me ask you a question before you go on. Is this a game that you'll platinum?
I believe so. Okay. I believe so. I've been playing it. I've been bouncing back and forth from the TV to the Portal. So I put a lot of time in on the Portal. It's a great game to have something on Tubi So watching the movie like Clown NATO, which I did the other day, watching Clown NATO. Or if you really want to see me lose my mind, go into the Discord in the movie channel and just drop me a message and just say, Cayman, show us your movie list of the dead, or even worse, show us your your 2000s B horror film list. I've been doing nothing but watching. I've got a list of 100 B horror films from the 2000s that are just fucking awful.
Wow.
Some classics like Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. Fucking
what?
Love that movie.
Oh my
Love
God.
that movie. If you're a trauma guy, which I am, go to Tubi right now. Put on Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. It's a musical, and it is one of the most disgusting films you ever watch. But enough about that. Yes, I do think it'll a game that I will platinum. I think it's fun on the portal. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to give it a shot. I'll let you know closer I get to it. Doesn't seem like there's anything too difficult. Just maybe some grindy shit where I have to like kill enemies a certain way, stuff like that. It just takes a little bit of time out of my day, but like it'll be fine. But enough about my game that I've been playing. Mori, I'm curious because you've been playing a game that I was very hot on that I actually got to review for the show.
Yes.
So tell me about it. You've been playing Lost in Random, the Eternal Die. What do you think?
Yes, I have been. I'd say I'm about 3 hours in. I beat the first boss, and it's good. It lives up to like how much I loved Hades. You know what I mean? It's so clearly takes so much inspiration from what Supergiant did with Hades, and I think it works well. I think the only thing I wish I had more of is I wish I had more context. Being somebody who didn't play Lost in Random, wanted to, like, had it on I bought it like 4 years ago, just never got around to doing it. It was not 4 years ago. It was like 2 years ago, but bought it, never played it. So like, I'm trying to figure out like, what is Alexandra's like bullshit that she did in the past so that I can understand all these intimate relationships with these people and how that transcends just what I'm watching now, that there was stuff that happened before. But the gameplay's fun. I keep waiting for a little bit more, like, I guess, creativity with like the status effects that you get and the weapons that you use. And I don't know if I'm going to get that, but I also don't know if I need to get that for the $25 price point. For what I paid, I feel like I'm enjoying quite a bit. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I don't know if I'll beat it, but I'll probably put another 5, 6, 7 hours into it. I like it. But what about you? Because you reviewed it.
I did, and I was really hot at it. And what I would like to say is I think you will be pleasantly surprised when you get into, especially by the time you start hitting like the third world's boss. You're going to start like strategically trying to get builds correctly and strategically placing your tiles so that you can unlock certain perks and boosts. And that's, I think, when things get really fun with the game, is when you get to that point when you start playing with the meta of it.
Yeah.
I will say I don't think it's as in depth as something like Hades. I definitely think Hades kind of takes the cake on it, of like just like how far you can push this particular type of genre. I don't think it necessarily hits those same level highs, but I do think that you will more time put into it, especially as you start getting permanent upgrades and you start unlocking different tiers of weapons. You'll start figuring out what you like the most. I ended up playing with the hammer. Like that slow bolting hammer, which is insane for me as someone who doesn't typically play with slow weapons. I'm usually like chip away, fast pace, and move as quick as possible. But I ended up going with the hammer on that one. So yeah, I think you'll like it. I think you'll like putting in some. So you're feeling good putting in some more hours into it. I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Let me tell you, Mori, about a game that I am very much enjoying.
Ooh.
But it's pushing me to my absolute limit of like how much pain and punishment I can suffer through.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Fuck.
I am playing Lies of P, specifically Lies of P Overture. Which is the recently released DLC for Lies of P.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's not like familiar with Lies of P, it is a story about Pinocchio. It is a very clever. It's a Souls-like, very brutal, very difficult RPG. And you play as Pinocchio, and it kind of builds into the world. It's a very interesting, very dark story. I honestly, I think the best way to kind of explain it is it's essentially like probably the closest we'll ever get to a Bloodborne 2.
Sure.
Yeah, very Lovecraftian. And so they just released the DLC, Lies of P Overture. And the good news is with the DLC, they also released difficulty settings. And so what I'll say is I broke and had to drop to the lowest difficulty setting, easy mode.
Yep.
Easy mode is essentially the same difficulty as playing Elden Ring with the Elden Ring with your Mimic tier.
Jesus Christ, brother.
It is. And there's even they added a harder difficulty too, like an extreme difficulty. I'm like, how the fuck can you play this game? It is. No. And they're like, and I think that my one issue with this is like the where it drops story wise, it drops like at the 3/4 mark. It's like 70-ish%, 75% of the way through the game. That's when the DLC opens. The recommendation is to play it then.
Sure.
And then apparently I'm reading on Reddit. They're like, people are like, yeah, so Overture is harder than like the first boss you fight in Overture is harder than the final boss in the regular game.
Bro, this is what's so weird. Like, I don't get it because like this is the thing. When you have Souls likes that aren't made by From Software, I feel like the thing we always hear is people complain about them because they're too easy. I think NeoWiz just said fuck it and just made Overture fucking impossible so no one can say that about the game. But now so many people in your position aren't even getting to experience it. It's so weird, dude. Balancing difficulty in Souls games is always a pain, but like I feel like they took it to the absolute extreme. One of my friends who's diehard Souls guy, like and pretty damn talented at those games too, he can't beat the first boss on Overture himself, which is like very telling. I don't know. Have you beaten the first boss?
So yeah, I was able to beat the first boss, and it's one of those really interesting things. They do some really cool fucking shit in Overture. Some stuff that. So one of the first things that happens, I kind of give a little bit of a spoiler. So if you want to go and clean to Overture, maybe skip forward a few minutes, or mute right now, and I'll wave my hands dramatically once we're past that point. I'll probably forget. Let's be honest. And so one of the cool things they do with this particular thing is you one of the first mini bosses you encounter is this. It's like a bear. I think it's like a bear. But it's like back legs, or sorry, it's an elephant, like a woolly mammoth, and its back legs are broken. So it's just like dragging its back legs around. It's like all deformed and shit. And so you fight it and you're like, okay, yeah, I've got the moveset down. Not that difficult. It's totally fine. Then you get to it. Like again, you're like, oh, they're going to throw it to me again. Here's it is. And you kind of walk in, you start fighting it, and then it hits the halfway health point. There's no name bar, so you don't think it's an actual boss. Hit the half health bar, and the fucking thing has a phase 2. It blows its head out, and it's a giant multi-headed giraffe, like that comes like wiggling out, and then the fight goes off fucking rails immediately because you have an entirely different moveset. And it was one of those when it got done, I just sat there and I'm like, just one of those like where you're breathing heavy and you're like, how the fuck did I do that? Like. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that was honestly one of the coolest fucking things I've seen. Like just the way that they play to your expectations. I love the new setting. The game, like the original setting, you're kind of walking around like a decrepit town. You get very, very Bloodborne vibes. Sewers, a church, very Bloodborne feeling. This is set in a zoo. And it is one of the coolest settings that I've seen in a game. Like I think really the only game I can think of, and Jake Twitchin's out there somewhere fucking sweating in his girdle, dripping sweat because he's over there frothing at the mouth about some PlayStation 2 game that takes place in a zoo. But the only other game I can think of is Division 2. They have a special raid that's set in a zoo, which is also really cool. I think zoos are just like a video game level setting that like we don't get. We need to take advantage of. I would love to see like Resident Evil go to a zoo.
Whoa, that'd be wild.
Shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I love that. Enough about Lies of P. Because I feel like, like if you want to play a Souls game, go play Lies of P. You can pick up the Overture's $30 right now, but you can pick up both. I think I don't know if it's free on Game Pass. Overture's free on Game Pass. I don't know if that's true. But you can still get Lies of P on Game Pass. Otherwise, you can pick it up the whole game, the bundle for the full game and Overture, which is apparently about 8 hours long. which is pretty sizable DLC. You can pick up for $60 right now. Or you can get Lies of P, I think, for 30 right now. So just that. So, but enough about that. Mori, both of us have been playing this game, but I'm going to pass it to you first. I want to talk to you about your experience. Earlier in the show, I mentioned that I had been playing Rematch, Rocket League without cars. So essentially soccer. What do you think about Rematch? You and Jake played it the other night. Tell me about it.
We did. I mean, I'll be honest. That is the limit of the fun that I've had with that game, is playing with people that I know and being able to laugh and crack a joke and throw it off the wall and like people actually communicating. I'll just be totally transparent. I probably put 10 hours into Rematch so far. That is the most toxic online community I've ever been a part of, and came in. You know that I rule toxicity. Like I've been banned on communications in like a dozen games because, you know, I don't use any gamer words or anything, but you better believe I'm going to hurt somebody's fucking feelings. Like, Jesus,
you've hurt mine before.
I know, Cayman. I'm so sorry, dog. I'm so fucking sorry, dude. When I think about that now, like it eats away at my soul, like a little bit, just day by day. I'm like, God damn, dude, you got to lock the fuck in. That's your friend. You can't just talk to anyone that way. Jesus. But no, I mean, I'm an asshole. Like, I'm an asshole. If you do some stupid shit, not saying you did some stupid shit, but if you do some stupid shit, I'm going to be a fucking asshole. And bro, these people on this fucking game have like left me with my jaw at the floor, like at the shit they've said to me. Like came in, whatever you felt that night playing Halo. I want you to know that I've had like 10 experiences on Rematch where my jaw's just been, where I'm like, I'm so baffled by what these motherfuckers will say audibly.
I got hard R'd the other day. And I was like,
no, bro.
Ooh. Yeah, I immediately had to go. They don't natively let you, like, you have to go deep into the menu settings to figure out how to turn it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, people on this game are fucking brutal.
Dude.
Just turn fucking chat off entirely.
Bro.
Just turn it off.
And that's what sucks is that it feels like my options are either leave the chat off and play like shit because no one communicates, or leave the chat on. And like, dude, this is what's crazy, bro. I'll be doing the most innocent thing. Like, these jackasses came in, they shoot it into the goal, their first fucking push up the field. Motherfucker, if you don't put that shit off the wall and give it to the guy in the box right now, sitting there, and make the goalie jump, I'm going to lose my shit. But I don't even say it like that. I'm like, yo, guys, if we put it off the wall, we're going to get a goal every fucking time. 90% of the time, we're going to score. And they're like, shut the fuck up, pussy. And they start start going like, bro, like crazy. And the next thing you know, it's not just like one person. It's like the other four will just gang up on you because someone else started. Terrible community, vile community. Now that I've gotten past that, now that I've said that, so excited to be playing something from Slow Clap because I loved Sifu. Wanted to get the platinum, wasn't strong enough to do it. I'll accept that in another lifetime, not now.
You can do it on this if you stick with it.
Yeah,
the platinum on this looks very achievable.
It does.
I'm already like 40% through.
I'm about
a lot of the honestly, a lot of the trophies that I have left are just like just native grinds, 100 goals, 100 assists, 100 saves. And even then I'm like 10% through all of those, maybe even more. So easy. But I do want to do it before we pivot off of that. I do want to say though, the one thing that really got my goat about the toxicity is that there is no way to report anyone.
No, not at all.
That's one of the big things, like one of the big tools with Rocket League is being able to report people for abusive and toxic behavior. And it just doesn't exist right now, which feels like a really bad thing to release a game like this that's like the way that it is and not have any way to shut that shit down.
Right.
Outside of that, though, tell me gameplay wise, though, how do you feel about it? Were you a Rocket League guy at all?
No. So I hated Rocket League. I think the cars and just it was just too much for me. I enjoy the gameplay loop. Like I said, I think I only enjoy it with friends. And that's the problem, is like getting your friends on to play a game nowadays is just damn near impossible. It's just it's just such a pain. I found at launch that there were just a lot of like bugs. Like there was one point in the game where me and an enemy guy kicked the ball at the exact same time, I guess, and the input just made the ball lag out. So the ball just stood there. Everyone's running by it.
Yeah, it was funny as shit when you see it,
bro. And everyone's just like, "What the fuck? This game's ass." And now I'm like, thank God they're not yelling at me. They're yelling at the game.
Have you lost the goals yet? Like the goals will disappear?
No. What the fuck?
Dude, not only did it happen to me in one game, I had to completely reboot because it happened to me 3 straight games where the goals just disappear. It's just a dude standing against a wall.
That's crazy.
Wildest bug. Which, speaking of bugs, I want to just quickly read a post or the little snippet from Slow Clap blog post. This is not just about, this is a little bit more. This is one of my bigger complaints, grievances, which if you want to go check out my review that's up on YouTube right now, you can see that, is lack of crossplay, which is criminal. Also insane that you would release a game without crossplay in this day and age. But let's go ahead and read. This is from Slow Claps, a blog. They said, we did our utmost to include crossplay at launch, but Rematch is the studio's first crossplay title. We faced unforeseen technical complexities, which prevented us from having this feature ready in time. We should have communicated as soon as it became apparent that crossplay wouldn't be available at launch. And we're sorry for the inconvenience and frustration it causes some of our players. All of your fucking players. Yeah. That was me. That was me paraphrasing, I think. Sure. So they're going back to what they're saying. It's very important for us that our players are able to enjoy Rematch with their friends. So along with bug fixes, cross players are absolute highest priority. We're committed to delivering this feature swiftly, and we'll share a more precise deadline as soon as possible. We already have a basic working version from a technical standpoint, but we need to implement the relevant interfaces before debugging and polishing it, and finally passing console certification successfully. All this takes time, but we're doing our best to move it forward quickly. No ETA on crossplay yet. So we're kind of left in limbo right now. Yeah. Of like, which sucks because a lot of people are playing on Xbox because it's currently free on Game Pass. Yep. And so editorializing, thank you, Cog. And also thank you for being here in the chat. Thanks, Cog. So I think the problem here is like a lot of people are playing on Xbox, but there's an entire community on PC, an entire community on PlayStation, which thank you to Slow Clap, probably should say we got a review copy. So I got a review copy and got to actually play it early. And got to test out a lot of these features and bugs, specifically a lot of the bugs I got to test out early. But it's just such a fucking bummer, man. And I feel like I feel like in the state that it launched in, it needed an extra month or two. Bro, just pushed it.
Dude, and this is what's weird is that now the only two games that can possibly rank in my top 10 this year for game of the year are two games that they're multiplayer without crossplay, and that's Night Rain and Rematch. It's like, how the fuck are we releasing multiplayer games in the year of our Lord 2025 without crossplay? All my brothers were playing Night Rain on Xbox. They're all playing Rematch on Xbox. So that's two games in a row now that we could have played together. We could have spent time bonding, but like these companies made it fucking impossible. I won't even get on Night Rain not having fucking audio because we're not talking about Night Rain today. No way of calming with your team. Nuttiest shit I've ever seen. But like, it just, it's like at that point, if it's at the top of your priority list, it's like, just give it a little more time. I'm sure that somebody above them, somebody like in a suit was like, nope, you can't do that. I kind of wish that wasn't the way it is, but it is. I look forward to crossplay hopefully being added like within 3 months. I really hope it's not that long because who knows if I'll be playing Rematch in 3 months. Sure. I don't know. So
I'm right there with you. Someone who loves Rocket League, it's a hard sell. And something we kind of talked about, Maury, I'm going to spring this on you. We kind of talked about having like a review system. We're trying to implement it in some of these videos where we say, is it a game to drop in or a game to drop out of? Where do you stand right now on Rematch? Something you think people should drop in, or do you think it's something you specifically will drop out of?
What a great question. I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. Rematch has like really good bones. And at the same time, like you're always online. So if you're not, I said the same thing about Night Rain. If you don't have friends, don't fucking buy it because having to deal with that level of toxicity, no reporting system. So there's no way of checking these people. Like having to deal with that is just fucking infuriating. And also I just don't think that it's like launched in the best state. Like I put it on my fantasy critic this year and like, the number doesn't lie. It's in the 70s and it deserves to be there. No crossplay, no way of reporting, a lot of fucking bugs, like not a couple bugs, like a lot of fucking bugs. I don't know. Like I would say, wait for a sale. Like, I don't know, dude. I think I'm dropping out personally. Dropping out. What do you think?
So I'm not far off from you. I teetered on drop out for a while, just given the state it was in. I think I'd say drop in with caution. If you're a Rocket League fan and you have a group like Maury said, or you just want to pick it up, turn off chat, just try it out. It's on Game Pass. You can play it. It's part of Game Pass. So like no reason not to give it a whirl. there's a world in which this game is a 9. Right now, it's a 7.
Yep.
Maybe even a 6.
Sure.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, drop in with caution. I think it's a good game, but I think it's a game that's going to be great.
Yes.
But we just have to hope that it's going to get there, because we haven't even covered the microtransactions and paywalls for a lot of shit, which is also arduous and annoying. But I don't want to bloviate any longer on that. I want to move on to the next game, a game that I feel strongly is the opposite of Rematch, which is, I'm pretty sure it released in arguably the best state of any game in the last year. And that is Death Stranding 2. So I'm going to open up, Mori. I know that you've got 2 hours roughly in. You were actually on air on the Dido stream. There's my BB. You were on air on the Dido stream. Game looks fucking gorgeous, but I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I'm going to go over just a couple reviews from around the industry that I want to touch base with you. I want to see where your head's at. So starting us off is Lewis Gordon from Eurogamer, who gave the game a 4 out of 5, saying a busier, louder, and more emotionally resplendent take on the singular hiking sim. IGN's Simon Carty gave the game a 9 out of 10, stating Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is a triumph sequel that emphatically delivers on the promise of its originality. GameSpot's Diego Nicolas Arguello I can't say it. I got almost flunked out of Spanish class in high school because I couldn't roll my L's.
Really?
I couldn't roll my L's or R's. My tongue doesn't work like that. Also, that's why women don't love me that much.
Oh my God.
So
fucking Christ.
Where's Jake? Where's Jake when I need him?
So
GameSpot came in. This is one of the lowest scores I've seen from a major publisher. Diego gave it a 7 out of 10, stating Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is fixated on revisiting past ideas, which limits its impact to being a good but not great sequel. I'm going to go and drop one more review before we touch on yours. This is very special to me. Somewhere out there right now, she's probably catching up on sleep. And that's Dido's very own Jerica Hanna, who attended and was actually flown out, was out on Kind of Funny and did a review for Kind of Funny. She gave it a 9.5 out of 10, stating fixing of the pacing, introduction of the narrative. It is way easier to follow and will be more of a hit for people this time around. That's a little paraphrasing on my behalf because I was quickly trying to type it out from her snippet. So the reviews pretty much across the board. I think right now, and someone in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. As of right now, I think it's sitting at a 90, maybe an 89 on Open Critics, an 89 or 90 on Open Critics. One of the highest rated games of the year. But Maury, you've got a couple hours into it. You're a diehard Death Stranding guy. So give it to me straight. What are your thoughts getting a little bit in? How do you feel, Sam Porter Bridges?
Dude, great question. Also, just so excited that this day has finally come. Holy shit. I've been so excited to play this sequel. I am about 2.5 hours in. I'm just about to wrap up chapter 1. That's about where I'm at right now, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good chunk. What I've gotten so far is that I'm playing Death Stranding 1 right now, and beyond like visuals, like the gameplay elements, the way combat feels still, the way climbing still feels, like outside of like the environmental shit that I've experienced within the first 3 hours, it's Death Stranding 1. Like it's just more Death Stranding, which I'm not mad about. I am so excited to see the way that this opens up, right? Like I've not gotten to meet this cast of characters yet, like Tomorrow, like Rainy. I've talked with Fragile a little bit, you know what I mean? But I'm waiting to meet these other characters that are going to be a key part of this story, because that's what a lot of people have said, is that the cast is one of the strongest things that this game has to offer. Also that its villains are one of the strongest things that this game has to offer. Sure. And in 3 hours, I've obviously not encountered a villain yet. I can't wait to get into it. I am deeply nervous. I see and this is normal. This is what Death Stranding did. So it's not like bizarre. And I enjoyed Death Stranding. So presumably I would be on the side of fandom this time around as well. But you know, these games are very divisive. I think Kojima games in general are divisive. Sure. But I've seen some people in the industry that I really trust and really love their opinions. And they're like, dude, Kojima brings up a bunch of fucking ideas and doesn't bring any resolution to any of them. that they're all just kind of like sitting out there and they never really get to that final arc that makes them make sense and plugs them into this story. It's like, fuck, I don't want to feel that shit, because I read some other people telling me this is a far better story. It's far better told. Kojima took some notes. So like now it's just like, fuck, I got to play through this game so I know what I feel about it. It is a bit daunting. This game is like 40 to 50 hours to finish if you do no side content. So I am excited to continue playing. I will likely play more after the show. I will play some tomorrow before I go into worky perky. I took Thursday and Friday off to put an ungodly amount of time. Nice. So like I will have more cohesive thoughts Friday, but right now I'm playing Death Stranding 1, and I'm not mad about that.
Yeah. Sure. And so as someone who never played Death Stranding, and it just doesn't, it's just not really, it's tough for me. I think it's tough. I want to give a shout out quickly just to drop out pod who just subscribed for a month. So sweet. Thanks for subscribing again. They subscribed for 3 months. So thank you. Drop out pod. It's almost like our papa's here to watch me and judge me on how well I can do, and then seeing if they're going to rip me out of this. Well, let me tell you about someone else who's ripping things out. And that's presumably Kojima, because he's not happy, apparently, that people like his game. Let me just read you this quote that he had. He said, "I do listen to criticism if the controls need tweaking or if a camera pan is too slow or too fast, but I don't alter themes or story based on feedback. Of course, I want people to play my game, so I must listen to them to a certain extent, but also I'm not interested in making something that appeals to everyone. Sony is pleased, of course, but I do wish I was a bit more controversial. Blockbuster films need an 80% approval rating. I don't want to make games like that. I'm not interested in appealing to the mass market or selling millions of copies. That's not what I'm aiming for. I don't want to simply recreate something that's already in the world. I want to make something new." I love the approach of just being like, suck my balls. I love this idea. Just eat ass. My thing that I have I have a point where I like pumping the brakes a little bit is that last line where it says, I don't want to simply recreate something that's already in the world. I want to make something new. And when I hear almost all of these reviews have basically said the first 15 hours is just Death Stranding 1.
Yeah.
And while I get that the game apparently takes off and does its own thing and really kind of evolves and elevates on it, it does leave me with a bit of a pause being like, well, is that gonna like, it's gonna turn some people off, especially people who presumably have just, a lot of people replayed Death Stranding to get ready for, like, that's got to be annoying as shit being like, okay, I'm doing this for 15 hours. That's a tough ask for me right now. How do you feel about that?
Well, I just have to stop everything and just say that might be the greatest segue I've ever heard. Going from someone might rip me out of the show. Speaking of things being ripped out, I was like, oh my God, that was a godly level segue. How do I feel about it? Yeah, dude. I kind of sat there on stream and I was like, oh, okay, I'm done now. And it wasn't because I didn't want to keep playing, but it's like, it does feel like Death Stranding 1. And again, not a bad thing, but I guess that I just expected. I mean, we waited 6 fucking years for the sequel. I assumed we were just going to hit the ground fucking running. And now hearing, because I didn't even see that they said in the reviews that it's the first 15 that feel like Death Stranding 1. I got a ways to go before I start getting the new Kojima that I waited for and asked for and begged for. In regards to his comments about, I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it right now. Kojima is not as brilliant as he thinks he is. He is brilliant, but he is not as brilliant as he thinks he is, bro. Like, absolutely. It is such a wild approach to say everyone's giving me a 93. Let me drop it down to a 90. That's a wild fucking statement, bro. And the other thing is that, like, I understand wanting to be niche. I understand wanting to be focused and specific. But every person, every developer, every creative, every artist that has ever made anything niche just did it by making what they wanted to make, not getting feedback and then going and cutting shit out. You know what I mean? Like, you look at Disco Elysium, right? Which I love Disco Elysium, right? Zoom didn't go in saying, let's make something that a lot of people are going to hate. They were like, let's make the game we want to make. Like, and when you do that, it can be niche and you can find your audience and it can still be its own thing that stands out against the crowd of everything else. But like, when you go into something and you're like, oh, I need to make it niche, to me, that's just cornball fucking level shit. I don't know why, but that feels like corny to me. That feels like somebody like high off their own supply. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, just fucking make Death Stranding 2 exactly how you wanted to. And if people love it, people fucking love it. What the fuck do you mean? I went back in and I started cutting shit. That's so weird. That's so fucking weird.
So I would love to sit on this topic for longer, but I want to talk about other things that people aren't loving.
Yeah, talk to me.
And that's the game Mind's Eye.
Yeah.
Mind's Eye, not doing great. And this is going to segue, another hard segue. I'm going to go, you know, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. Serious shard in the serious shard in the chat. So the article's twisted that interview so fucking much. Serious, challenge you right now. Go to Discord, write up an article, drop it there. I may not get to it live on air, but I do want to hear what you have to say later. And Rabbit, stop talking like that in the chat. We don't want to know how hard your segs are. I do want to hear more, and I can't wait, Mori, to hear more about Kojima, especially how he elevates Death Stranding 2. Obviously, I think we're going to hear more, hopefully from you on stream soon. Even more so, hear you live on air. I do want to point out Thursday, Dido on Thursday, the episode, a lot of the episodes actually be talking about Death Stranding 2. So Jarek is going to give her full review. So very excited about that. But I want to pivot, like I said, to Mind's Eye, which did not hit the ground running. This article comes from Vicky Blake over at gamesindustry.biz. Mind's Eye developer confirms layoffs as it focuses on updates and performance optimization for Mind's Eye. She writes, Mind's Eye developer Build a Rocket Boy has confirmed it has had to make the painful decision to lay off staff. The studio's inaugural title was met unfavorably by both critics and players alike, with the team saying on Discord that it was heartbroken about the ongoing optimization and performance issues. She continues, according to IGN resources and her understanding of the UK's redundancy legislation, over 100 developers could be at risk of redundancy, although the studio itself has not confirmed how many jobs are now at risk. They quote, we can confirm that we have had to make the painful decision to notify our hardworking team of some internal changes at Build a Rocket Boy. The studio said in a statement to gamesindustry.biz, quote, while we are working to reassign roles for as many of those impacted by the changes as possible, sadly, we are initiating a formal consultation, a process that may result in redundancies. This decision has not been made lightly, and we are committed to handling the process with transparency, fairness, and respect for all the employees. We will provide further details to the team over the coming weeks. There's more to this article. If you want to go read it, go over to gamesindustry.biz. Build a Rocket Boys game, Mind's Eye, released only on June 10th. So 2 weeks ago. And it has been nothing but the scorn, I think, of reviewers, players, and just the ecosphere has been trashing it.
Yeah.
It's apparently bugs are an issue. The frame rate's awful. It's just glitchy. But a lot of it is a lackluster and empty game that just fails on all accounts. And obviously, it's tough because you never want anyone to be laid off. You never want anyone to go through those kind of things. But honestly, I felt like we saw it coming a mile away. Maury, what do you think?
No, I agree about the mile away. I mean, ever since I saw that game get unveiled, I was like, I don't know why I care. I don't know what this does for me. I don't know what it was about the gameplay or the way it was presented, but I was unintrigued in every way. Not a part of me thought about buying Mind's Eye on June 10th. Right. Not a part of me. I think the other layer to it is that, yeah, you said it, and that's that the writing was kind of on the wall. The head of the studio actually for Build a Rocket Boy left about 2 weeks, or it was either 2 weeks or 2 months before the game came out. And that's never a good sign. That's always like a red alert. Like if you don't even stay with your team to see the game launch, it's because it's in a really bad state and it's in a really bad place. You have to imagine, right? This is something I always try to talk about when we talk about layoffs and when we talk about bad games. And that's that these developers, if I'm not mistaken, these were ex-Rockstar developers, right?
Yeah. The studio head, I think, was one of the former game directors or something like that. Someone in the chat can correct me, but yeah.
Yeah, like these are talented fucking people. These people did not see 20 frame rate dropping down to 20 frames a second and say, oh, the game's ready to launch. You know what I mean? Like it was a corporate executive guy in a suit who's like, no, we need our return on investment now. And that's what sucks about these stories is that so often you see these AAA teams get backed into a fucking corner. And it's like, it doesn't matter that everyone in the studio knows that the game's fucked. I mean, clearly the head of your studio left. You now have to put this game out and you have to take that fucking beating. And for some reason, these executives cannot figure it out and cannot learn that the game's not going to fucking sell if it runs at 20 frames a second. It's just not. It's just not. You're not going to recoup any money doing that. You'd be safer to give it another year and to wait to make that money back. But these executives
100%.
don't think about that. They just think about, oh, I need to recoup my money now. And now maybe these people are talented. We'll never know because this studio is going to be shuttered most definitely.
Do you want to hear some more bad news and about how executives can suck a big fat fucking dick?
Yeah.
All right. About the dicks. This comes from Chris Holt over at Engadget. Xbox will reportedly conduct another major round of layoffs next week. Managers said to be anticipating substantial cuts. The article goes, it seems the cuts just keep on coming within Microsoft's gaming division. A company-wide reorganization is taking place, and that's slated to include another major round of layoffs within the Xbox team. Those cuts will be confirmed next week, according to Bloomberg. Engadget has contacted Microsoft for comment. It goes later on to say Microsoft confirmed last month it will lay off about 3% of its total workforce across all teams, levels, and regions in an attempt to streamline operations and flatten its management structure. That equates to around 7,000 people losing their jobs. Per Bloomberg's report, Xbox managers are anticipating substantial cuts across the entire group. We'll go ahead and just give you a little other news to like make a little more context for this. Microsoft cut about just shy of 2,000 workers from his gaming division in 2024 and another 650 last September. It also closed down Arcane Austin, Alpha Dog Games last year while merging Roundhouse Studios into ZeniMax Online Studios. It also shut down Tango Gameworks as well, but Krafton, the publisher of PUBG Battlegrounds, acquired that studio last August. For the first 3 months of this calendar year, get ready for this, Maury, Microsoft reported net revenue of $25.8 billion. It also said that its Xbox content services revenue had increased by 8% year over fucking year. That was editorializing the fucking part.
Yeah. Right.
I felt like it emphatically needed to be said that I'm not taking pot shots at Microsoft. This is not a Sony pony thing. I have said the same thing about Sony.
Yep.
Like, your fucking corporate shareholders are fucking snakes. They're fucking pieces of shit. And if you want to be a billionaire, if you want to be fucking Phil Spencer, you have to be a sociopath.
Yeah, you do.
You care more about a dollar than you do about the livelihood of, in this case, 7,000 people.
Jesus Christ.
Because your shareholders need to add an extra penny onto their stocks. It's fucking disgusting. Maury, I'm going to let you go off, bud.
Yeah.
Absolutely go off.
Bro, it's an unfathomable number, 7,000. I mean, I think you said that they've let 2,000 people go in 2024. I mean, 7,000. You've nearly quadrupled that number.
At this point over the last 2 years, I think it's close to 10,000 at this point have been let go over the last 2 years. Yeah.
Bro.
A year and a half, actually.
And this is in what this all stems from is corporate greed yet again, right? Well, the reason why we're in the position we're in now is because Xbox went out and they bought too much fucking shit. They just went out and they bought too much shit because they're like, no, we want to have a monopoly. We want to own all these studios. We want to put them all on Game Pass. Rah, rah, rah. We're in the middle of COVID. Everyone's home. We're just going to pretend like COVID's going to last forever. And people are going to always have this much time to be on the game. So we're going to always have this insane increase over time of Game Pass users. And we're just going to pretend like real life doesn't happen. Because that's what they fucking did. If you walked into COVID and you looked at those numbers skyrocket for Game Pass and users per hour and all that shit, and you said, oh yeah, it's infinite growth. It's never going to stop. It's going to keep going this way. You're a fucking asshole and you're unequipped to do your fucking job. And because of that greed, because of that desire to make a few fucking dollars over those few fucking years of COVID, you've now fucked tens of thousands of people. We're now reaching that number, tens of thousands of people out of a job, out of work, right? And this industry is so competitive as is. I feel really lucky being in the position that I'm in. I get to talk to a lot of developers. I get to talk to a lot of people that actually work at these fucking companies. And they tell me about how insanely competitive this industry is. Trying to get a job is already a pain in the ass. Trying to get a job back is even worse, right? You just got let go. Now you got to go find another fucking studio that's hiring for your position, for your skill set. Does your previous work match the tone of what they're working on now? I mean, it's nearly fucking impossible to go and reintegrate into that job field. it's just despicable. It's a shame. And the sad part is that like we're not done. You know what I mean? Like the slimming down of all of these acquisitions isn't over yet. I wish it was, but it's not. This is another hit. This is another drop in the bucket because these shareholders have to make their money back and they've just not. Right. And it's weird because you see all these ways that Xbox has tried to stop the bleeding, right? Like they're like, okay, no longer exclusive. We're going to put these games on PlayStation. Actually, we're putting everything on PlayStation. And somehow all of this money, right? All of these Xbox titles being in the top 10 most sold games on on the PlayStation Store, it still isn't enough fucking money to make up for this deficit, whatever that deficit is, because they're making more money.
Right.
They're making more money. There's no deficit. You know what I mean? But whatever that deficit is, whatever they need Game Pass to be making, whatever they need the gaming division of Microsoft to be making, they're not making it yet.
Right.
So like, I pray to God, I hope that these 7,000 people that are now put out of a job, put onto the street, they got to go figure their fucking life out, right? I pray to God those are the last people that are let go, but I don't believe it will be.
I don't disagree there. And I think it's time. We've been a big bummer the last like 15 minutes, Mori.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to say, but the truth is I feel like we talk about layoffs a lot on Spotlight.
Yeah.
And I feel like we go through this shit so much of going over and belaboring like how fucking frustrating these scenarios are time and time again. And so because of that, I think it's safe to say that there's really nothing more, I think, at least at this stage, for us to comment on. But I do think there is something for us to comment on, and this is something maybe a little bit more fun. What would you say, Mori, if I told you that Taco Bell is coming to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4?
Collaboration of the century, frankly.
You know what? When we were making our predictions for the Game Awards, and I was like, there's going to be a strategic collaboration will be said at some point during the Game Awards. What I didn't realize was it would actually come later, and it'd be Taco Bell and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Let me go ahead and read this blurb from Game Rant. This comes from Joe Craig. The fast food restaurant Taco Bell has announced its partnership with Tony Hawk to bring the skaters' custom meal to the menu for fans to try. And the collaboration also offers several exclusive in-game items for the upcoming Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Serving as a remake of the early 2000s Pro Skater entries, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 is making a name for itself in Hawk's skateboarding video game series, as controversially, the installment will not feature the popular free-to-roam career mode from the original, which is a bit of a bummer, you know, but I understand why they did it. That I think people are going to be fine. I think people are going to take a pause, and there's going to be diehards that don't like it, but ultimately, I think that'll be fine. But I do want to keep the ball rolling here and continue to talk about this because it gets funny as fuck. Taco Bell, the multinational chain, is well known for its Mexican-inspired selection of tacos, burritos, nachos, quesadillas, and special items. Of course, this isn't the first time the restaurant chain has been connected to video games, as Taco Bell previously referenced the Kingdom Hearts series in one of its commercials, and the chain even released its own video game in 2000 for DOS titled Taco Bell Tasty Temple Challenge. Someone out in the chat right now, do me a favor, write that down. I'll put it in there. Someone, go ahead, do me a solid. I want you to reach out to Jake, and I want you to tell Jake, find this, play it live on there.
Please.
Taco Bell Tasty Temple Challenge. I need to see what this game is, and I need our sweet Jake Twitchin to play it for us. Let's go ahead and talk about what is included in this Tony Hawk's Lux Craving Box, okay? So fans can grab bag, a cheese quesadilla, a crunchy taco, chips, and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium Lipton iced tea. That is Tony Hawk's Lux Craving Box. Additionally, gamers can look forward to the collaboration's in-game exclusive items, which will individually be added throughout July and August. Some of the items include a Taco Bell hoodie and a Salsa Verde skateboard. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just read off what these are. So July 11th to 17th, you can get a Salsa Verde skateboard. July 18th to July 24th, a Taco Bell hoodie. July 25th to July 31st, Taco Bell sweatpants. August 1st to the 7th, Verde grip tape. And then last, coming on August 8th to the 13th, Taco Bell puffer vest. Those are going to be coming to, and you can go and look at see some of the goofy ass bullshit coming to the game from Taco Bell. Mori, what do you feel about this?
Well, for starters, I mean, it's just insane that it's a 2-month-long collaboration that they're releasing items over time. I think that's so fucking funny. I wonder what code gives you a shit stream that gives you a boost whenever you're on the fucking board that'll just like blast you up out of a bowl, because surely that has to be worked into the game. I mean, you said it earlier. When have you not gotten a fucking colon cleanse from a fucking Taco Bell meal? It seems fun. It seems like a great time. I already eat Taco Bell probably once every 2 weeks, so I guess I'm gonna have some codes for Tony Hawk anyway. Like, it's gonna work. Yeah.
Does this move the needle at all for you to play the games?
Absolutely not.
No.
But I mean, I'm gonna have the code sitting there, so like maybe I'll be like, fuck it, I'll download it. Like,
I mean, it's gonna be on Game Pass day and date, so like,
hard
not to.
Yeah, if it's on Game Pass, I guess I will play it.
Woo! Noah C29 in the chat says he'll suck Mori off for some codes. Heard it here first, folks. Heard it here first, folks.
Wow.
Well, that might not move the needle for you, but let me tell you, Mori, that we have another showcase that's on the horizon that also probably won't move the needle for you, and that is THQ Nordic's 2025 showcase. This comes directly from THQ Nordic's website. A Titan-sized showcase ahead. THQ Nordic's going to entertain you August 1st. Saddle your horses, rev your engines, and hold your breath. THQ Nordic's Digital Showcase 2025 is charging back onto your screens in just a few weeks. This year's showcase promises a feast of world premiere announcements, fresh updates on previously announced titles, yes, some including some long-awaited release dates, and, you guessed it, a few surprises we didn't hint at already, or did we? Oh, are we getting a Sunset Riders? Are they gonna fucking re-release Sunset Riders? Where's Patrick? He's fucking jerking off in the corner just thinking about Sunset Riders. Mark your calendars for Friday, August 1st, 2025 at 12 p.m. Pacific or 3 p.m. Eastern time, or whatever that is to wherever you live. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just run through a couple things that we know for a fact will be announced. I'm curious if any of these stand out to you. So some of the games that have already been announced that will be making an appearance, Gothic 1 Remake, Titan Quest 2, Reanimal, The Eternal Life of Goldman, and Wreckfest 2. Apparently there are quite a few more that will be part of the showcase that they haven't announced yet. Any of the ones that they have announced, any of those standing out to you?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But I looked at the list earlier and I was like, okay, what do I know? Right. The Gothic 1 remake. Don't know.
But you're too fucking young to know what that is. That was an immersive sim from the 90s, Maury. You weren't born until after 9/11, so God knows.
99. You were close. But
Shrek, baby.
Yeah. Titan Quest 2 came in. I don't know what the fuck is Titan Quest.
It's like a top-down Souls type game.
There you go. Wreckfest. I Wreckfest 2. I know Wreckfest, but like
I think Jake actually played Wreckfest 2's demo on stream.
Really?
A few months back, yeah. And you know he's hyped for it.
Yes. Oh, definitely. He's hyped for everything in this showcase. It's old just like him. Yeah, I don't know what these games are. I'm trying to think about what THQ Nordic would have worked on in my childhood that would have made me excited.
So here's the thing, nothing. There's always a chance though that there's going to be there he is. Someone say Sunset Riders all come. There's Patrick. He's in the chat.
Oh no.
I was jerking off in the corner. That's so okay. The over under on licensed properties has to be fucking astronomical. Like we're gonna definitely get a new fucking SpongeBob game. What I'm hoping for is that they do pull some of those THQ Nordic games that we genuinely want. Yeah. Things like Destroy All Humans. Getting a Destroy All Humans 3 would be a fucking announcement of the century. I think people will pop off for that shit. THQ Nordic has been suffering as well. Like they're, having to cut chunks of their, selling off chunks of themselves. It sounded like, if I remember correctly, the rumor back in the day was that they were trying to sell themselves to, I think, the Saudi group for like $8 billion. And like at the last minute, they backed out. Maury, Noah's curious. Were you a Darksiders boy?
So, dude, that's the only thing from THQ Nordic's it's
existing IP
that I recognize. And I wasn't a Darksiders guy, but like if they announced Darksiders 4, I guess it would be. I would happily play a Darksiders 4. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Darksiders 5 technically. Darksiders Genesis. Well, no, Darksiders Genesis wasn't really a 3. It was kind of a Darksiders Genesis came after 3.
Interesting.
Right? Did you play Darksiders Genesis?
No.
Honestly, we should do a co-op stream of that. Darksiders Genesis actually fucks.
Let's do it.
A great couch co-op game too. You get to play as War and Pestilence. I think it's Pestilence. Yeah, it's a fun top-down isometric kind of like Diablo style game. Less Diablo maybe, but you get the gist. Good stuff. That's another one. A Darksiders, a true Darksiders 4. Shit, can you imagine if they announced remaking Darksiders 2? I would be coming immediately. Like, Darksiders 2 still stands out to me as like one of the most underappreciated games potentially ever made.
Really?
I fucking love that game.
No shit.
Yes. If you can pick it up more often than not, you can pick up Darksiders 4 for like $5. They got a remaster for the PlayStation 4. Go ahead and grab it. I love that. So not like I said, I didn't really think you would be creaming your leathers over at THQ Nordic, but I will ask a question. We'll revisit this in the future. No, I'm not a Darksiders guy, but I agree with Dumpster Boy. Thank you for agreeing with me. Not enough people agree with me. Plus or minus more, what do you think the amount of licensed IP? So think SpongeBob, Barnyard, that kind of bullshit. How many games do you think are going to be shown on like how many do you think that's going to be?
At the THQ Nordic showcase?
Yeah.
No less than 3.
No less than 3. Okay. Noah, write that down. Go ahead and write that down. We'll revisit that. When is August 1st? I don't fucking know. August 1st is a Friday. So what I'm hearing is the August 5th episode of Spotlight. Noah, I'm expecting you on August 5th to come back with that number of how many of those are. We will hold Mori. We will waterboard Mori if he's wrong.
Fucking hell.
If he does it, if there's fewer than 3, we're waterboarding him live on air.
My live waterboarding. Come check it out. It's
live waterboarding. Well, let me tell you, we've got some more. We've got some more games here, or we've got some more games I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap this up. I think it's a nice tight hour. You know,
love a tight hour.
I was hoping it wasn't. We weren't gonna destroy ourselves in the process of this. Let's talk about some games you might actually like. We're gonna play a little game we used to do back in the day on Spotlight. Patrick and I used to do called Hot or Cold. I'm gonna ask you, Maury. Hot or cold game releases for July. If you're not in the know, this is the last Spotlight games of the month of June. We won't be back until July. And so there's a whole slew of games coming out next month. And there's going to be some on here. I'm curious. And so I want you to just give me a quick hot or cold. And if you really feel passionate about it, I'll let you get it 2 sentences in. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
July 3rd, Harvest Moon, The Lost Valley / Skytree Village. Hot or cold?
Cold.
Missile Command Delta on July 8th.
Cold.
July 11th, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4.
Neutral. Lukewarm.
Lukewarm on the greatest Tony Hawk Pro Skater game that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
I hate to say it. I'm lukewarm. I'm not cold.
Nerd.
Yeah.
All right, July 11th. Also on July 11th, Patapon 1 and 2 replay.
Cold. I don't need to replay Patapon 1 and 2.
Well, that was a pregnant pause. July 15th, Stronghold Crusader Definitive Edition.
Cold.
I don't know what the fuck that game is.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I.
What a stupid fucking title. Here's a title. Actually, a game that I really want when we're done here. I'm going to look this up. Someone actually do me a favor. Go and drop this in Discord for me because I'm going to need to know that later because let me tell you right now. Remember that game we started at the beginning of the episode?
Which game?
Oh, it's good. Oh, yeah, it's coming. All right, July 17th, Maury, Hunter x Hunter, or was it Hunter by Hunter? Hunter Hunt? No, it's just Hunter Hunter, I think is what they say.
Yeah.
Hunter Hunter, Nin X, or is it just Nin Impact? Nin X Impact, just Nin Impact? These fucking anime nerds. Hot or cold?
Very cold, ice cold, freezing cold.
Depending on what it looks like, very hot. I love Hunter x Hunter, even though I can never say the title right. Oh yeah, that fucking series rules.
Wow.
Absolute fucking big. Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm a big Yu Yu Hakusho guy.
Okay.
You might be a bit too young for that. So there's an old Toonami show. It's the same guy who created Hunter x Hunter. That was like his first. That's like the series that like really got him big. If you've never watched Yu Yu Hakusho, go back. It's like a horror action. It's fucking great. It's one of the greatest animes of all time. I stand by that. So that's July 7th. Hunter x Hunter in X Impact or just in Impact. July 17th as well. Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Right. I'm hot to see what everyone else thinks, but as a non-Switch 2 owner, because I'm not giving Nintendo $500 for an upgrade, I won't be playing it. So I'm going to say that I'm cold.
Cold. Okay. I don't think you're going to be warm on this, but I did miss one. I do want to apologize. I missed this one. Thank you, Noah. July 10th, College Football 26. Presumably, I'm just assuming knowing you, not hot.
Yeah, cold.
Okay, so we're going to recap. As of this point, the hottest you've gotten has been lukewarm on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. July sucks for you, huh?
Yeah, dude.
All right. Well, guess what? It's going to get no better.
Fuck.
July 17th, we get Golden Tee Arcade Classics.
Cold.
So there's just something I have to say about this. This is going to be the moment that Patrick is like, you're never allowed to host again. So everyone, just get close. At
least you wait until the end of the show.
If you're watching us live, just lean in. You're going to want to lean in. Okay. If you're listening at home, lean in. Here's the thing. Golden Tee is just like the first red flag of a domestic abuser.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry if you're fucking at the fucking bar playing Golden Tee. I'm assuming you throw empty beer cans at children. Okay.
Jesus fuck.
So.
Oh my God.
I said it. July 18th, Shadow Labyrinth, which apparently is just a lore dive for Pac-Man and what's it? Is that Sega? I don't fucking know. Pac-Man. It's the Pac-Man Metroidvania.
Oh, I'm cold. Yeah, I'm cold.
Same. July 22nd, Monument Valley 3.
Cold.
July 23rd, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers.
Lukewarm.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe.
So Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, it's like it's a Souls like that's supposed to be like I think feudal China.
Yeah.
Or like it looks like I watched some gameplay of it earlier today. I was like, looks cool as shit, but unless you're Liza P and you give me an easy mode, I really struggle with adding any time to that. All right, we're rounding out the list. Are you ready for this?
Come on.
Here's a title for you. July 24th, Azure Striker Gunvolt Trilogy Enhanced.
Cold as fuck.
July 24th, also. There's another one that's going to come after this.
Yeah.
Killing Floor 3.
Cold.
Okay. See, that would be what I would be. I'm a little shocked on that as an FPS guy. I would assume maybe a little bit. Nope, not. Okay. Yeah. Well, good news is we're going to get there. There's at least one in the next. There's one in the next. I don't remember how many I've got left. Five left that you're going to love.
Really?
Really hot on it. Yeah.
All right.
July 24th, Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV.
It's just so cold.
Right. That's the only fucking Jake game.
Yeah.
Like they made that game and were like, Jake twitching? This is for you.
Yep.
All right, July 25th, the following day. No Sleep for Konami, date from AI : the Somnium Files.
Freezing. I don't know.
Someone look that up. Someone look that up and tell me what that is. That sounds heinous.
Yeah.
All right. Here's in the next three.
Okay. All right.
One of these is going to be hot. Okay. July 29th, Grounded 2.
I'm going to say hot.
Hot? Okay.
I'm going to say hot.
You ready for the one that you're going to be so fucking hot? Your shirt's going to be off by the end of the episode on this one.
Okay.
July 29th, Tales of the Shire is finally coming out.
Yeah, no. Freezing my nipples off. Jesus Christ. I hate you.
Just beamers, baby.
Just beamers.
Just look, two little diamonds poking out of here. All right, we got one last game, and this comes out July 31st. It's the last big game release, unless something crazy happens. It is the last big game release of July. That's going to be Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. not hot. For me, July is a tough one. My wife is really excited about Tales of the Shire. I'm really excited about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. And maybe, just maybe, if someone did me a solid and figured out what the new Hunter game is, maybe hot on that. But yeah, man, there's really nothing here.
No.
Yeah, July's kind of sleepy for me, I think. I mean, obviously, we're getting ramped up for the fall. And there's some things here I think they're going to hit. I know Jake's Patrick seemed really excited about Grounded 2. Obviously, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I mean, I think a lot of people but then that's the thing. It's people who have a Switch too.
Exactly.
So that's tough. So it does feel like, we can say, oh, it's a fucking hot, but like, it's hard to be on something where it's a new release on a console that not everyone has been able to either get because of accessibility to it or funds, which is more probably both of our cases.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. And then, I don't know. Killing Floor 3 is one of those where like, maybe I'll play one of them one day and maybe I'll be like, what have I been missing my whole life?
Sure.
But as of right now, I don't necessarily think, that's for me. So I think that rounds out. Those are hot. So thank you, Mori, for coming along for the ride to play a hot and cold with me. Thank you for the audience for sitting through a lot of jokes about masturbation, multiple comments about getting your colon cleansed.
Yeah.
And something about me not knowing how to use my tongue right. There is a thing I do want to say. I do want to throw this out. There is the RoboCop expansion, which didn't make the list because it's not considered a new game or like but that does look really hot. It's $25 right now for pre-order and apparently has a brand new trophy list. So I am hot on that. But that's the last thing I want to say on that. Maury, anything that any lasting words you want to impart on the audience?
Just that I had an amazing time with you, Cam, and this was fucking lovely. This was great. Thank you for having me as always.
Well, I wouldn't have it any other way, buddy. Thank you guys so much, like I said, for being here today. Going to be a fantastic rest of the week with Jake's Jamborees. Episode on Thursday, Dido is going to be popping off with more updates on Death Stranding and more to come from there. It's just going to get better from here, folks. So thank you so much for coming in. Go to dropindropout.com. Go follow us on socials. You can find Spotlight Games at Spotlight Games Pod pretty much everywhere. And, if for some reason you're lurking still and you're like, they keep mentioning Discord. If you haven't joined it, you're missing out on one of the most exciting Discords currently in the ecosystem. So definitely think you should do that. And as we do in honor of those that came before us and those that will never come again, Ronald Reagan, I'm looking at you, you fucking piece of shit. Let's wave to the camera and say goodbye, Maury.
Bye.
Bye-bye.